For instance, it is a notorious fact that in the Northeast, the issue of banditry, attacks on schools and the abduction of students, kidnapping activities of Boko Haram and ISWAP, proliferation of light and small weapons, and vandalizations of power cables are the common crimes being perpetrated. That is how all the 6 geopolitical zones are captured in my crime mapping. Next slide. Police action and responses. We are deploying both kinetic and non-kinetic approaches. 1, in reinvigorating Operation Pop Adder. 2, to reinforce the ongoing fight against banditry, kidnapping, armed robbery, and other violent crimes in the northwest and north central part of the country. In addition, we also launched Operation Restore Peace in the southeast and south-south region on the 18th and 19th of May 2021, respectively, to ensure public safety, restore public order and constitutional authority, roll back the increasing wave of crimes, lawlessness in this region. Thirdly, we are expanding well-coordinated intelligence-led operations to confront bandits, kidnappers, armed secessionist groups by enhancing intelligence gathering efforts and utilizing capacity. Next slide. Enhancing intelligence sharing through strengthening interagency collaboration with the military, DSS, and other security agencies is also an aspect that is being pursued. Deepening community engagement to weaken recruitment drive by secessionist group. In this drive, we are also improving our public relations and regaining the trust of the citizens through improved community engagements, enhancement of ethical policies, and the fight against corruption, e.g., police campaign against cultism and other vices which we are using, what we call the FOCACOP. It's a kind of organization or a kind of body that is out to either in form of play or drama or enlightenment, discourage these vices in our schools and public places. Deploying technology. The Nigeria Police National Command and Control Center, which we call NPFC4I, Nigeria Police Crime and Incident Database, MPC and RCC centers are technology-driven outfits that are used in trying to engage.
Security has never been better, and policing never easier. With the NPF Rescue Me app, you can now report a kidnap, robbery, rape, car each time any case is reported. And with the latest technology, we track, locate, and rescue the victim immediately. Don't have the NPF Rescue Me app? Simply visit your Play Store or iOS App Store right now for download. Or you can place a toll-free call to 0803-1230-631 for 24/7 swift response. NPF Rescue Me app. Security redefined. Policing personalized. NPF Rescue Me app. Proudly brought to you by the Nigerian Police Force.
This is one of our technologically used for Rescue Me, which is going to be directly connected to our C4I. Once you download these apps and you use it appropriately, wherever is your position, wherever is your request, whatever is your complaint will directly hit our control room within minutes, and we will respond to your request. Curbing proliferation of illicit arms and other weapons and recoveries. Let me also say something on the issue of proliferation of light and small arms. We have embarked on deliberate and well-coordinated nationwide mop-up of illicit weapons to contain the proliferation of small arms and light weapons in the country. We are identifying and raiding factories where assault rifles and ammunition are manufactured locally. We are identifying and blocking weapons supply chains and routes in and around the country. We are also collaborating with neighboring countries and international organizations such as WAPCO, APRIPO, Interpol, IPS, International Police, to ensure that these things are checked. Next slide. Play the
involving a very
industry of firearms
effective,
we were able to bust
lethal,
it.
dangerous weapons. If you look at the weapon
These are locally
and you
manufactured
compare it
here in Nigeria.
with the AK-47 rifles produced either in Eastern Europe or any other part of the world, you might not, on a cursory note, be able to spot any difference.
Michael, I'm from the South Local Government.
Manufactures these
Statistics.
rifles or produces
We
them.
were caught on the
He
26th.
can be an asset, he can also be a problem.
These rifles were recovered from us.
He can be negatively used, he can also
These
be
locally
positively
fabricated weapons were the ones that manufacture it. I learned the profession from my boss, late James.
Next, arrest and ongoing prosecution of 7,036 notorious criminal suspects for offenses of terrorism, kidnapping, armed robbery, murder, cultism, banditry, and other violent crimes, and recovery of sophisticated and locally fabricated firearms and large catchment of ammunition. We are prosecuting, or we have successfully investigated 1,845 cases of armed robbery suspects arrested, 1,845. We have 1,445 suspects arrested for crimes related to cultism. We have 1,183 murder suspects arrested and being investigated. Some have already been arraigned in court for prosecution, while others are undergoing investigation. Cyber crimes, we have also arrested 1,110 suspects. In terms of recovery of firearms, we have recovered 1,717 sophisticated firearms. Stolen vehicles, 341 vehicles have been recovered. In terms of live ammunition, in terms of both cartridges and ammunitions, we have 39,541 live ammunitions recovered. Rescue of over 934 kidnapped victims unhurt by the police operatives within the period under review. Also, over 1,665 suspects have been arrested in connection with rape and other sexual and gender-based violence in the country from January 2020 to date. In terms of cases under prosecution, in either the Supreme Court, Federal High Court, and other courts, including the magistrates, we have over 20,000 cases actively being prosecuted nationwide. Over 1,570 convictions secured by the Force Legal Department in Abuja. Thousands of other convictions have also been secured by different state commands across the country. This slide shows the number of cases being prosecuted by one lawyer in the legal department. That goes to show that we have a lot of cases that are being investigated, charged to court. Some are being prosecuted by the police and some are being prosecuted by the Ministry of Justice. The police does a lot of the prosecution also, even though it is at the instance of the Ministry of Justice. We have police lawyers that have been authorized by the Ministry of Justice to prosecute all sorts of cases, including terrorism, murder, and all other serious cases. This one that I just showed is being prosecuted by one. Very recently, we had conviction by, as a result of prosecution by police lawyers. We have this gracious David West. You remember the serial killer convicted who had been arrested since 2019, and the prosecution has been going on. He has been charged for killing about 19 people. He has just been sentenced to death by hanging in October 2021, just this month. We have the issue of Suleiman Goma and Haruna Idi, sentenced to death by a Makodi High Court for the kidnapping and murder of the former Vice General of Otukpo Catholic Diocese. This, we have also just got the conviction. So the cases are also being prosecuted, which is supposed to serve as deterrent. Let me say something about NSAS. The challenges of NSAS had made us to wake up in some aspects of our engagements. In other words, we try to improve on some of the things that must have brought about the issue of NSAS. So after the disbandment of NSAS, all protesters arrested were profiled, screened, and released unconditionally, except those implicated for murder, malicious damage, theft, and other serious offenses. As a result of NSAS, a lot of raid, a lot of arrests has been made. However, at the end, we were able to profile those arrested, and except for those who have serious cases of infraction against the law, others have been warned and released. There are also ongoing judicial panels of inquiries into alleged professional misconduct, and all officers found wanting will be dealt with as soon as we get the report, as almost all the panels have submitted their reports and recommendations. But however, we've not been officially communicated as to these are the number of indicted officers that needed to be prosecuted or needed to be punished for the roles they have played. The post-medical department was immediately empowered to carry out psychological evaluation of all police personnel engaged from the different special anti-robbery squad, which we have successfully done. There was also debriefing of the personnel from the different SARs and training on professional ethics and fundamental human rights. The Salary and Wages Commission is working out a new salary structure for the Nigerian Police Force as directed by Mr. President, and we are being in touch with them. What do we do to fill the gap after disbanding and the SARS departments? After the disbandment of SARS department, created special weapons and tactics SWAT. The police created what we call the SWAT, which was carefully selected, screened, and personnel were carefully selected, screened, and trained. SWAT personnel with support from development partners. SWAT not yearly fully operational due to budgetary constraints. SWAT requires specialized uniform, arms, offices, keys, and other things. We are working on it, but instead we also try to cover this gap before SWAT becomes fully operational. Before SWAT becomes fully operational, we have decided to use our tactical units such as the Intelligence Response Team, which we call the IRT, the Special Tactical Squad, which is the STS, the Rapid Response Squad, Anti-Cultism Squad, the Anti-Kidnapping Squad, and the Anti-Violent Crime Squads, and the Anti-Banditry Squads. These are also special tactical units that are now covering the vacuum, or the vacuum created as a result of disbandment of SARS. Postmortem summary of human and infrastructure losses in NSAS. We have decided to make a case also to the National Human Rights Commission, which is also one of the investigating panel investigating the issue of NSAS. Even though we have made effort to appear in some of the state panels to also state our own side of the story, where unprovokedly police formations were attacked, burned, officers killed, properties looted and so forth, we have also made our cases, but we have made a general submission to the National Human Rights Commission, which is also investigating that aspect. And in that, we have presented this summary that you are seeing. Summary of human and infrastructural losses. The police suffered huge human and infrastructural losses during the protests. Number of police personnel killed, 35. Police personnel injured, 146. Number of firearms carted away, 354. Ammunition carted away, 30,084. Area commands destroyed or vandalized, 9. Divisions destroyed or vandalized, 76. Police posts destroyed or vandalized, 48. Barracks destroyed or vandalized, 16. Number of armored personnel carriers destroyed, 9. Number of police patrol vehicles destroyed or vandalized, 198. Number of police officers' personal vehicles destroyed or vandalized, 182. Number of exhibit vehicles destroyed, 422. The next slide shows you these are the officers we lost during the NSAS protest. These are the ones that were killed. Some were killed, even burned. We have made our cases in some of the panels that this is the police side of the story. Police reform. Next slide. The passage of the Police Act 2020 by the National Assembly provided a framework for reform within the Nigeria Police Force. Manpower development. Deliberate protocol to identify, elevate, and position professionally competent officers to strategic position is on progress. General training and retraining. Specialized training for specialized departments and units. This is one of our training sessions for public relations officers.
Once again,
Which I personally commissioned in the country into 6 geopolitical zones, and we are training our public relations officers. We are training our tactical officers on weapon handling and other things. So we have a vigorous recruitment process, training and retraining process going on. The issue of recruitment is also another issue that I came in and found. I try to see how we can provide solution to it, and successfully we've been able to overcome the differences between the Police Service Commission and the Nigeria Police in terms of recruitment. And now we are ready to continue with the police recruitment of police constables into the service from where we had stopped earlier. The 2020 recruitment had gone about 70% before the issue of court case and other things stopped the process. Now we have overcome, and we are continuing to recruit 10,000 for the 2020. We have opened our portals, and I think by 28th of this month, the entrance examination will be conducted by WAEC for all those who have applied for it. The MPF now carrying out harmonized recruitment for the force. Conclusion of 2020 recruitment of 10,000 constables currently ongoing. Recruitment of another batch of 10,000 constables for 2021 will follow immediately. Total applicants we have for the recruitment for the 2020, already over 3,057 applicants has applied to come in as recruits to the police. A total of 230,000 were screened. The 92,000 passed the screening, and we have to do the computer-based aptitude test to be conducted by WAEC. So MPM is committed to transparent, fair, merit-based, and zero corruption selection process. Welfare. Housing scheme is another issue that the government is looking into. The force leadership is currently working with the federal government and police trust fund, as well as taking full advantage of the police of the private-public partnership window towards redeveloping our barracks and establishing new affordable houses for all cadres of personnel. Medical and healthcare for serving and retired police officers. Capturing of retired police officers and their spouses under the National Health Insurance Program is on. Recapitalizing police hospitals nationwide and improved service delivery is also on. Massive sensitization targeted at educating police officers on the advantage of using the NHIS is also on. Expansion of police medical service with more police hospitals. We are building and equipping more police hospitals in commands and zones to take care of the medical process. This medical center is this is one of the medical centers that we've just commissioned, and we are trying to furnish it and equip it for the benefit of personnel. This is also another housing estate by the size that which is we are using our cooperatives to build on our lands for police officers to enjoy accommodation issues, especially in our urban areas. Salaries and pension. The Salaries and Wages Commission, like I said earlier, is working out a new and improved salary structure for the MPF as directed by Mr. President, His Excellency Alhaji Muhammadu Buhari. Efforts are on to improve police pension also. A bill to facilitate the exit of the MPF from the contributory pension scheme now is before the National Assembly. Consideration for our fallen heroes. Reviving the Nigeria Police Force Scholarship Foundation, which was incorporated in the year 2015 for purpose of awarding scholarship to the children of our late officers, has been reopened. In cooperation of Nigeria Police Insurance Company with the intent to guarantee seamless insurance service to meet the needs of police officers, particularly the injured and deceased ones. So we are on the verge of registering an insurance company which is going to be domiciled in the police. Posthumous promotions in honor of deceased officers who exhibited gallantry and professionalism in the course of service has also been used, especially for the NSAS victims. Some of them were promoted posthumously to honor their sacrifices. Retooling and re-equipping. Deliberate acquisition of operational tools and equipment, e.g. bulletproof vests, helmets, weapons, and other other anti-riot equipments are being procured. Procurement of modern fleet of operational vehicles in line with local content policy is also on the drive. I have personally ensured that most of the vehicles we have bought in the last 2-3 months on intervention and from the CBN, from NNPC, and from the police trust funds are locally made vehicles that are manufactured in Nigeria. Next slide so that we can see these are some of the equipments we have put in place right now, ready to be distributed to all commands and zones. The PTF gave us 200 operational vehicles, body armor, helmets. The PTF gave us 200 operational vehicles. NNPC gave us 250 operational vehicles, 8 APCs, drones, marine boats, and other equipment. CBN intervention is also on. We are acquiring assets. The assets have not been taken over. That is why I have not been able to state how many. These are what we have right now in our custody, and they will very soon be inducted into the theater of maintaining law and order and fighting crime and criminality. These are what we have right now that we have not even distributed. We have vehicles from Meccano, we have vehicles from Innocent Motors, we have vehicles from Jag. These are all vehicles that are manufactured in Nigeria. accountability measures. NPF focus on strengthening police/citizenship complaint mechanism to uphold discipline and prevent the resort to self-help by aggrieved citizens using the twin policy of reward and punishment as a measure of checking excesses of officers and also ensure that discipline and professionalism are maintained. The units are created. These units are empowered to check on police excesses. The Post Provost Marshal, the Public Complaint Response Unit, Public Complaints Bureau, and Monitoring and Mentoring Unit, and the EXCOD. These are all units that are currently existing in the police for people to complain. In some instances, we electronically or scientifically look try to supervise police performances on stop and search operations, on roadblock operations, on patrol and escort and so forth. And we pick on those erring officers and ensure that they are punished if they had gone wrong, and where we also reward good work. These units receive complaints physically and virtually, investigate and sanction incorrigible officers whose unprofessional conducts negate MPS policing values and negatively impact the drive to smooth partnership with citizens. I just give a small statistics of what we've been doing, as shown on the screen. Lastly, and not the least, let me say something about Anambra election again. Anambra State gubernatorial election is to hold on Saturday, 6 November 2021. MPF is committed to providing a secure and a level playing field for all parties and also individuals to exercise their franchise. MPF has conducted an election security threat analysis, and we have developed a strategic election security operational plan. These include massive and strategic deployment of human and operational assets, a DIG deployed as the coordinator of all security arrangements during the election. Like we have said earlier, 34,587 police personnel, COBAT and OBAT, are going to take part. In terms of assets, we have deployed 3 helicopters and also our gunboats to the riverine areas. Special deployment of our EOD men to check IEDs and other things that might possibly be used in destabilizing the process. Our post marine, like I said, is deployed. We have, I can't remember, I have not taken as at yesterday, I think we can boast about 7 gunboats, but we still believe that we will bring more from some of the areas that we have, because we are putting them in order. Then our deployments can also be done with some of our boats and other tactical scores. Community engagement, collaboration with CSOs, public enlightenment, radio jingles, and other non-kinetic approaches to encourage people to come out and exercise their franchise is also being carried by the force, to carry out by the force. Collaboration with sister agencies is highly on the move, as all other security agencies, including the military, are going to be coordinated, and election policing will be strategically provided. We want to also ensure that orderliness, checking of electoral offenses, and other things that are not allowed on election day are what is going to be checked by those we are going to deploy to the polling stations to ensure that the election takes place orderly. While we are doing this, while we are providing security for the election for Dalines, for the nature of Anambra, we are also prepared to give policing a different aspect of policing for the could be subversive elements. To that end, we have deployed our special forces, our counter-terrorism unit, and the police mobile force, who will be on vigorous patrols in all the local governments and other areas. All the non-volatile areas have been marked to cover. We are going to provide security in all KPs and BPs, and we also have a plan to meet with all other stakeholders by Wednesday next week, where we will be able to discuss extensively the role of the community, the society, the electoral officers, the security officers, and so forth. We are urging those who are going to cover the elections in terms of NGOs, either as observers or of reporters, are going to be screened, and they will be accredited to also carry out their duties of ensuring that the election is covered both in terms of monitoring and in terms of reportage. Thank you very much for listening.